welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea, and here we are in my little haven this evening. The winter nights are setting in, it's dark outside, so it's nice to get your lights low, your candles lit and your blinds drawn and just keeping that warmth in. So how are you all? How's your day, your week, your month and your year been? Nearly at the very end of the year. This year has flown by so quickly. So I'm here tonight to just chat to you about tarot and how we use it. Okay, now I use tarot in a number of different ways. I use tarot for myself predominantly. When I say I use it for myself, I use it when things are looking a bit iffy and I want to know what's going where. I pull cards for different seasons, for the beginning of the year. There are all those milestones throughout a year where I pull different spreads, etc. But I also use them for myself, for decisions, life decisions, for characters in stories I write. I like to, if I'm getting sort of that blockage and I'm thinking, what's this person going to do next? And I use the tarot for writers. I got the idea from Tarot for Writers, and albeit I don't refer to the book on a daily basis now, which I used to before, it's on my shelf and I refer to it now and again. And it was using the deck, just looking for the book I got, it's on my shelf, but I can't see it very clearly because although it looks brighter on there, it's not as bright in here as it looks on there. It's Corinne Kenner, her name is, that whose book I use, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But besides that, what are the things? Oh, sorry, no, I'm jumping the gun. Let me just carry on with what I was saying about using tarot. So, like I say, tarot is used for many aspects of my life, and very recently I've had issues that I'm thinking things have got me down. Now, today has been an extremely good day. All those issues that I was telling you, not telling you about, but you knew that there were issues that were bothering me, have now gone. We'll put it this way, they should have gone. If not, people could get themselves into trouble. I feel like a load has been lifted off my shoulders, and I feel like I'd finally be me again. But I used my tarot, I used my meditation, and I pulled some cards for myself. I actually did a reading using two spreads, and one card was for situation. One deck was for the situation, the protagonists. The other deck was for ourselves. Two identical spreads run side by side, and what I predicted using my cards happened today, and that is what has inspired me to make this, that tarot plays a role in my life that is a guiding role. It's not like the cards jump into my hands and say, right, Elaine, this is what you've got to do. It's how I read cards, how I interpret card meanings, and you know how they can bring me comfort, they can give me advice. I can take that advice, I can run with it, or if it's a heads up, I'm forewarned and I know what to put into place, and that's how I use them for me. There's other things too. Sometimes someone might pop into my mind. Now, I would not support reading for other people without their permission. But for family and close friends, sometimes somebody might pop into my mind, but a tarot deck will pop into my mind at the same time. So they're sort of there together. And to me, that's like, this person needs a reading. So I know it sounds a bit odd, but it actually does happen. And as happens, it happened to a family member of mine on Monday. What's it today? It's Wednesday today. And so I thought, oh, now I couldn't get hold of this person, this member of the family, because they were in work. So I thought, I'm going to have to do this reading. So I did a 6-card spread, just 2 lines of 3. I had a specific question, just these questions came into my mind about situations. And then I thought, right, I'm going to write all this down, which I did, and I took a photograph of the spreads, and I took a photograph of the deck I used, and this is the deck that I used, okay, this sort of aged tarot deck. I'm just going to put a lamp on behind there so that you can actually see better. There you go, that's the deck I used, okay. And I did this reading. Now, ethically, I would never have done it for other people. I would never have just assumed what I can read for this person. It's just because this was somebody I am very close to in my family. So I did the reading, and then I spoke to them earlier on today, and I had tried to speak to them yesterday, but with things the way they were, I was meeting myself coming backwards. So I literally spoke just now, and I said, look, I said, I hope you don't mind, I pulled some cards for you because you popped into my mind on Monday. Now there's nothing to be concerned about, nothing at all to be concerned about, but a heads up on a situation. And I wasn't aware of the situation, now I have to tell you. We live in different countries. And so I said I pulled up the photograph that I had taken of the spread, laid out the spread, and I went through it. I said something blah 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 blah, went through each card, and I said, but this is relating to something, this blah blah blah. And he just went, oh my God, have you been speaking to so and so? I said, no, why? Because that's the only other person that knows about this situation. I said, no, I honestly haven't, not even to mention it. And I said, but there's this name, and I mentioned a name, and he goes, oh my God, yes, that's right. And you know, it's just that when things happen like this, when you read tarot and it's so clear and so bang on, you know you're doing the right thing. Now, there will be people outside of the tarot community that will decry us for what we do. Oh, it's wrong, it's this, it's that, it's the other. I'm sorry, but I don't have hold much truck with these sort of people, okay? I just think, well, look, you do you, I'll do me. And if tarot is my thing, tarot's my thing, come hell or high water, nobody's going to put me off it. So when things like this happen, it reignites that passion for tarot within me. The situation I have found myself in, and the reading that I did 3 weeks ago in preparation for today's events, today's occurrences, was so accurate that it's almost scary. Well, no, I wouldn't use it. Scary is maybe not the right word, but it's just amazing. It just brings... Look, I do not doubt my ability to read tarot. I'm not saying that these cards are a magic set of cards that are going to solve every problem that I have ever had or are going to make me a multimillionaire. What I am saying is it's like a guide, and keys, each key unlocks a different part of your brain, a different thought process, and it sort of strips problems bare and helps you reconstruct the issue, but putting in things that can solve the situation. It gets you thinking, it breaks everything down, so the problem is now, say, linear, rather than all packed up and pressing down on you. The problem is broken down so it's linear, and all the solutions that each card gives you places the jigsaw pieces back into place with a solution. So each piece that's pressing down and bothering you, your advice, your path, it's like saying, this is what you need to do, have a think of this, consider doing that. And it builds up this scaffolding around your problem that holds all the solutions. It's a beautiful system. It's like many divinatory systems I like using. Bibliomancy is another thing I love. The pendulum, I love the pendulum. My divination rods, dice, oracle cards, dominoes, There's a lot of things I love. Geomancy is another thing I'm really loving. Do you know the one thing I don't like? The Ouija board. And it's funny because something came up on Facebook there. Somebody had put a picture of a Ouija board up, and since they've had this Ouija board on display, things have gone tits up in the house. And I just put a comment in there, well, look, because it was, what do you think? So I thought, well, with my own experience of the Ouija board as a child, and I wasn't even playing it, I was in a room or a holiday home where 4 couples or 5 couples had gone on holiday together. All of us kids been put to sit in the little area that had the TV in whilst the parents played Ouija. Some wise ass decided, let's get the Ouija board out. Now, from the offset, my father had said no, my mum had said no, but it's like, oh, come on. It's like that peer pressure. Come on, pecking your head, oh, go on, you've got to do it just once. So they put their hands on this glass, whatever, and all the adults were there, all the children here, but the thing is, the handle, we were in a rondavel. A rondavel is like a round mud hut in the Kruger National Park, hundreds of years ago. I'm 59 next week, so I would have been about, well, my brother wasn't born, he was born when I was 10, so it was only my sister and I, so I would have been 7 or 8 years of age, my sister would have been 5 or 6, and I can remember it quite clearly, that we were sitting there, and we had gone to the safari park for a holiday, and we had a rondavel, they were like mud huts and that, what have you, and each family had their own rondavel, and we went to one family's, we all congregated there, and wise ass took out a Ouija board. Well, they were all playing this Ouija board. Next minute, it's like a light shone in through the window. Now, they were all sitting there. Where did this light come from? Nobody knows. It could be someone walking past and just shone a torch into the window. We don't know. But it just so happened to coincide with the point where everybody's getting to the point they're about to shit themselves because things are moving really, really quickly. But my father took his hands off, said, no, and the cup stopped. No. You've got to put your hands back on. You've got to put your fingers back on there, because that is the spirit coming through you. Well, that nearly made my father go grey before his age, and he was what? He would have only been in his early 30s then. And he put his hand back on, the cup started bloody moving again. And the next thing, we're sitting there now in the rondavel. To open the door, it was a push down latch, and it was a stable door. And I'm sitting there, I remember seeing the latch as it was someone on the other side of the door, so on the inside the latch lifted, and it should have swung separately because it didn't join. There were 2 halves, you just had to physically open the second half, but it didn't join, but both parts opened as though it was one, as though someone was just pressing and pushing, and there was nobody there. The adults were trying not to freak out too much because they didn't want to scare us, but I had seen that, I remember it, and I was talking about it with my mum. She goes, oh yeah, I remember that. And the lights started flashing, and I thought, then I can remember, the name Ouija stuck with me all my life from that day on, because I thought, I will never do that, and I didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't. People say, well, what's the difference between what you do with a pendulum board, what you do with tarot? For me, they don't have that energy that I associate with Ouijas, and that's only come from bad experience. You know, it could be quite all right for others, but for me, it's not. So it's funny how a variety, although I'm talking about tarot now and how I find tarot has been so unbelievably bang on for a long, long time, for most of my time involved with tarot, that other divinatory practices also add depth to tarot. Charm casting, your pendulum, crystal work, anything that you know can deepen your reading. But I've really digressed actually, because I was just talking about how we use tarot. So, like I say, I've used tarot quite a lot for myself over the years, but this last couple of weeks it's been quite in depth. Other ways I use the tarot, I read tarot for other people. You know, people come to my home and I read for them. Other nights I invite friends over. I've got a few friends, but I invite 5 others as a maximum, because I have a round dining room table that has 6 chairs around it. So for myself and 5 others. So it might not necessarily be the same 5, but I will pick a deck out, cleanse it, and say, right, that's yours for the evening. That's yours. That's yours. That's yours. That's yours. And this is mine. And I'll say, right, we're going to pull this, and we have a tarot circle. None of my friends read tarot, so what we do is we pull a specific amount of cards, and I say, right, I'm going to pull 5 for you now. I want you to pull another 5 for you, and those 10 cards will be your reading, and I'll do that for the next one, the next one, the next one. And we chat, we have a glass of wine, not too much wine now, because I want to be able to read the cards, not sort of slur the cards. And it's really enjoyable. It brings people together. I've actually got my eye on that game on Kickstarter that I would like to potentially back, but I might have to wait till it's en masse, out in general market, because that would be great for bringing people together as well. But yeah, I do a lot with tarot. Friends across the road, they have family nights where they invite me over with the cards, and we have a great night there as well. So tarot for me is pretty important. I enjoy it, and it brings closure for me. It is a problem solver. I use it for advice and guidance, and I simply enjoy it. I have been the victim of people accusing me, particular people accusing me of devil worshipping, black magic, putting hexes on people, evil, all happen to be the same people, and just generally freaking unpleasant, and yet practice their own esoteric practices themselves. You know, it's beyond hypocritical, to be perfectly honest with you. But besides that, because at one point over the last couple of years, I actually did go very quiet where tarot was concerned, because I thought, am I doing wrong? Am I doing things that are bringing negativity to other people? Of course I'm not. But people like to project their nastiness and their weirdness onto other people, and I'm not going to allow people to do that to me anymore. And I'm not going to allow people to do a lot of things anymore. I'm going to start being a little bit more cautious when it comes to allowing people to know too much about me in my home and what I do now. Look, I'm on social media. People are going to know an awful lot. Oh, Elaine's into tarot, Elaine's into a variety of different cartomancy practices. She's into dice, she's into the rods, crystal balls, charm casting, witches' runes. You know, I'm into an awful lot. But to use it for my higher good and the higher good of others. And it amazes me that in this day and age, you still get people who are quite happy to point the finger and say, that one's a bit weird, she practices this, oh, don't go near her, don't talk about it, that's evil, no, that freaks me out, you know. It's a bit ridiculous, to be quite honest, you know. There were, like I say, there was this situation that I've been dealing with, and today it came to an end. Before today even started, I came in here and I sat in my chair over there. That's my reading chair. Not tarot reading, I didn't read tarot here. That's my reading literacy, literature. That's where I like to sit. That's where I like to meditate. I like the candles on the altar behind me. I have my tarot cards here, my library there and there. So I'm surrounded by all the things that I enjoy. And I came in and I did my meditation this morning, and I asked for guidance. When I do a meditation, I particularly, I invite in my excuse me, angels, archangels, guardian angels. And that's not coming from necessarily a Christian standpoint per se. That's coming from just something that brings me comfort. I invite my spirit guides. I invite my aunts, my past loved ones, my recent, my grandparents and aunties, etc. I invite my great grandparents and ancestors. Then I invite the ascended masters, and then I go through a litany of people and beings that I want to come in and surround me. My gatekeepers keeping negative out. It's a practice that people say, oh, well, don't believe in us. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. People don't have to believe what I believe, and I don't have to follow religions that they follow. And that goes for every single person. There are too many people in the world saying, you've got to do this because that's what we believe. You're the evil one. You've got to do that. And we've got to pray to this one, pray to that one. No. You do what you're comfortable with. Whether it's God, whether it's Yahweh, whether it's, I don't know, some great prophet, whatever, whoever, whether it's source, whether it's a being, whether it's an energy, who or whatever is out there when we pass on is not going to turn around and kick you in the hole and say, you're not coming in here because you didn't pray for me using that religion. You didn't come in here and you weren't practicing Catholic, so you're not coming in here. If you live a good life, if you treat people how you would like to be treated, and if you use your cards for the higher good, it's like a person using a Bible. Both are man-made. Okay, this has a longer history. This was written by a variety of different people over generations. These have been going since the 1800s, 1700s, 1400s. Okay, if we look at the Visconti's Falls and that, we're looking at the 1420s, etc. But all these are man-made. What I get from this are the pictures that open my mind at different places, different times, different scenarios, help pinpoint solutions, help open a path, help to problem solve for myself and other people. That's what that is. And this does the same. People, why have I got a Bible in here? Well, actually, I bought this in a flea market in America. Went to America when our daughter was 16, which was 16 years ago. And I've never been to a flea market before. It was bloody brilliant. And I just like the look of it. I like the look, I like the feel of it. Okay, it's a brilliant book. It's a Bible, obviously. I didn't like the content so much because I would normally, when I was practicing Catholic, we'd use the Good News Bible. This is the Open Bible. And do you know what? I found it very, I don't know, put it this way, it goes into like family Bible study. It's very in your face, preacher style stuff. But what I didn't like that, there was a part in it when I was reading something and it was decrying people who might be gay, decrying people who are in any way different to how the people who wrote this want you to be. But why do I have this here? Because I'm writing a detective story and there's a Bible in an office that's got drawings in it and writings, and so I got my mind going, and all this is part of the story. And I've put post-it notes in here because they're different chapters of the book that I'm hoping to one day get published. And so it's not something, how can you deface the Word of God? Well, the Word of God is helping me be creative, and God is not going to turn around and slap me around the head and say, you wrote in a book, so you're going to be burning in hell. He's going to say, do you know what? You fed the hungry, you helped the poor, you picked people up when they were low, you're welcome in here. And that's not me being big-headed. That's every single one of us that do that on a daily basis as best as we can. So when it comes to me and tarot, I use tarot. I do use Bibles along with many other books that I have lying around here for bibliomancy. Okay, today I used a Bible for bibliomancy, and I asked the same question of the tarot cards, the same question of bibliomancy, and the same question of my pendulum. They all gave me the same answer. I opened the Bible, closed my eyes, and I opened it like this, and it opened up to Proverbs. So I'm just going to look for Proverbs here now, because I haven't a bloody clue where Proverbs there is. I opened it up to Proverbs. It was the first part in Proverbs. Now, this is a right difficult one to understand. So chapter 1, let's have a look here. Let me see where it was, because I used a different Bible, but I'll put this one here now. It was the Good News Bible, and basically it wasn't as hellfire and brimstone as this book is. This is very hellfire and brimstone. They've been very complacent, and their complacency will destroy them. And whoever listens to honesty and truth, and to listening to this word, because this was my bibliomancy this morning, so whoever listens to this will dwell safely and will be secure without the fear of evil. And that's what happened today. Tarot cards, book and pendulum gave me the same thing. So I've gone right off course. I think my head is so full today. I thought, I've got to share this. I've got to talk about this. I've got to let people know that who have been really nice in following me and supporting me and saying, look, things will be okay. They are. Things are fine. And they're finished. It's done. And I'm delighted. So, yes, tarot cards helped me today. Bibles helped me today. Pendulums helped me today. And so did my family and friends, my ancestors, my past loved ones, spirit guides, the ascended masters. They were all on my side today. Things went well. So I would like you to maybe put a comment below how tarot helps you, and how has it helped you with any major decisions and things that you have had to make in your life. Before we go, I have all my woo-woo practices, and one of them I glued a mirror onto my potting shed because it was facing the direction where I felt the negativity was coming from. And on it, on the back, I wrote, "Return back to thee thine energy. The negativity you wish on me will come back to you 3 times 3. So mote it be." And I drew an evil eye on the mirror. I glued it to my potting shed, and as something happened last Friday, the negativity disappeared, moved on elsewhere, and that very same day the mirror fell from where I'd put it on my potting shed, which was a height of over 6 foot, onto a concrete base, and it didn't break. The same day the negativity moved. So that I am keeping. I'm going to try and take the glue off the back of it. I'm going to try and clear the wording off the back of it, and I'm going to keep it wrapped up and in here somewhere safe, because I hope to never have to use that mirror again. I'm not going to break it or crush it, because it didn't break. It like dropped and said, I've done my job. Pick me up, look after me, keep me safe, so that I can be of use to you again should you need me. Strange, but true. Look, I'm being a bit giddy now. You take care, have a lovely evening, and I hope life is starting to look great for you all, if it wasn't before. If it is, I hope it continues. if you need any healing energy sent, any good wishes, any positivity, I send it all to you now. And thank you all. You know who you all are, who have sent me good wishes, who follow me here, and who are basically people that we've met online and we've formed friendships, and I'm appreciative of it. Thank you.